Then manuring, what kind of manuring has to be done, what kind of nutrients are to be provided. So if we get into these kind of inputs from technology, we get inputs from different kind of data driven technology, wherein analysis of data is being taken care of throughout the country, throughout the world, कि हाँ साहब वहां पे ये खाद डाला था, उससे इस क्रॉप पे ये असर पड़ा था और ये अच्छा ये आया था. तो ये सारा कुछ जिसको हम लोग IoT कहते हैं, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स, इसको ला करके हम जब इसमें इंडल्ज कर देंगे, so then again better outcome can be taken out of anything that we do. Similarly, irrigation, kitna, what amount of water is required, from where it should be taken. हम फार्मिंग कर रहे हैं और हमें पता नहीं है कि पानी हमारे पास अवेलेबल है और उस तरह से हम उसको ला सकते हैं. सो टेक्नोलॉजी कम्स हियर आल्सो. Weeding is the as per me, weeding is the most difficult thing and the most important thing that is into farming. For a proper crop produce, if we are dealing weeding properly, then proper crop produce is taken care of. Harvesting में भी क्या है कि टाइमली द क्रॉप शुड बी हार्वेस्टेड, अदरवाइज जैसे अभी 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 गेहूं का फसल कटा है, तो बहुत जगह ऐसा है कि वो रख करके हमने उसको ये कर दिया, बारिश हुई कहीं पे वो खराब हो गया. सो प्रॉपर वेदर अलर्ट्स इफ आर गिवन टू द फार्मर्स अलोंग विद टेक्नोलॉजी, तो हम लोग उसको चीजों को, आउटपुट को और बढ़ा सकते हैं. देन स्टोरेज इज ऑब्वियसली नेसेसरी. स्टोरेज सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर होता है किसी भी प्रोडक्ट को, उसके शेल्फ लाइफ को बढ़ाने के लिए. सो टेक्नोलॉजी कम्स इन देयर ऑल्सो. ये तो हो गया फार्मिंग में हम लोग क्या करते हैं. इसके अलावा अगर हम एज एन एग्रीप्रेन्योर, इफ वी आर डूइंग backward integration, if we are doing forward integration, and then we are getting our products in place, nothing can be better than that. कहाँ से सीड लाना है, कहाँ से क्रॉप लाना है, if these things are integrated and are given to you, then it will be very easy for you to produce the crop. So technology plays its role there. So as a company, as a technological company which is doing advancement into the field of irrigation, we have developed certain apps, certain software, certain algorithms based on which we can give you data driven analysis of how exactly can you plow, how exactly can you do sowing, and what technology, what machines can you use, what predictions can be given for the disease detection can be done. So we have done these kind of innovations from our product. So I'll start with my presentation now. Is the presentation visible to you all? Is it visible now? Presentation. Okay. So what exactly we are doing? We have developed a app named Hull, which is acronymed as Harvest, Analyze, and Learn. So this app is basically end-to-end solution that is being given to the farmers for their successful produce. What we do is we bring in technological integration into it. We use advanced technologies like drones, IoT, AI, and Farm GPT for agriculture innovations. We then connect farmers, retailers, and brands and other. We create an ecosystem wherein every component of this industry is connected, integrated together for a better, a smooth transaction of all the things. Then we bring, सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी लाने से नहीं होता है, इसको इम्प्लीमेंट कराना और इसके बारे में बताना भी बहुत जरूरी होता है. सो वहां पे हमने we have integrated a person named as Health Sathi, which will be a point of connect for every person working in a particular block कि यहाँ पे हम कैसे इसको इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं. What services we give through this app is crop health monitoring. We give equipment rental facilities. We do drone spraying. We enhance farming efficiency, which enhance farming efficiency, and it is very convenient. And we provide real-time information, and it is a real-time information, which means it is a real-time information. I mean, you can see what crop is at what stage in your field. You can see it through this app. So how do we do it, and what exactly we have done will come in the coming slides here. So this is how our app looks like. It is from my farm. You can take the statistics of your farm, your produce, what exactly is the quality of your produce. Then we go to Krishi Bazaar, wherein we have brought in the market onto this app, जहाँ पे आप यहीं पे मंडी जाने की जरूरत नहीं और यहाँ से ही आप खरीद बिक्री कर सकते हैं. कृषि ज्ञान is the basic knowledge base of this app, jahan pe everything that you want to know about the farming industry, everything that you want to know about any kind of technology, any kind of process that can be done through this platform. And then it is also a social connectivity platform wherein every stakeholder is connected together here. So I'll jump onto a few slides. These are not related to what exactly we are dealing here. So what is the technical capabilities of this app? I mean, what exactly we are doing? That is what I wanted to share. We are taking drone imagery into this technology, jahan pe hum drone se with different sensors, multispectral cameras, thermal cameras, we take the exact picture of those crops, those diseases, those fields, and we make them real time available to you for your monitoring कि अभी क्या हो रहा है. So this data acquisition is basic at a very good resolution, is very much important for you to analyze sitting at your home कि हाँ साहब ये क्रॉप में यहाँ पे ये दिक्कत आ गई है, अभी इमीडिएटली हमें इस चीज का एक्शन लेना होगा, so that things are taken care of at a very particular point of time. So data acquisition, high resolution images are being captured which provide visual information. So where exactly is this applied? For crop health monitoring. So for example, RGB cameras assess plant color, size and overall health. कि सही से ग्रोथ हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, क्या पिगमेंटेशन का कलर है, क्या नहीं है. So we can take this data from here. What kind of pest and disease is affecting my crop? ये हमें पहले से ही पता पड़ जाता है ताकि हम समय रहते. It is always said that precaution is better than cure. हम अगर प्रिकॉशन पहले ले लेंगे तो हो सकता है हमारी फसल खराब ना हो, जब पूरा लॉस हो जाता है उसके पहले ही हम उसको सुधार लेंगे. Then precision agriculture, which exactly allows technology to come into the picture and do your farming. Then we are also taking satellite imageries, जहाँ पे we take optical radar and multiple spectral cameras, sensors to give you satellite pictures for your field. इससे भी डेटा एक्विजिशन हम लोग करते हैं. इससे भी हम लोग मैक्रोस्कोपिक व्यू बेसिकली लेते हैं कि क्या एग्जैक्टली उस पॉइंट पे हमारा दिख रहा है. इसका एप्लीकेशन जो है ये लार्ज स्केल मॉनिटरिंग. फॉर एग्जांपल गवर्नमेंट ऑफ तेलंगाना हैज टू सी कि हमारा हॉर्टिकल्चर मैपिंग जो है पूरे स्टेट का वो किस लेवल पे है. सो वी कैन गिव देम द डेटा, रियल टाइम डेटा, कि साहब आपके इस एरिया में ये प्लांट ग्रो कर रहा है, इस एरिया में आपने ये फ्रूट ग्रो किया है, और यहाँ पे ये फ्रूट जो है ये पिछले सीजन में इस लेवल पे था, इस सीजन में इसका ये यील्ड है। और हम अगर इसमें अपने डिजीज डिटेक्शन कैमरास को, अपने डेटा को इंक्लूड करेंगे, तो आई कैन ऑल्सो गिव देम द डेटा, आई कैन ऑल्सो गिव देम द सॉल्यूशन फॉर अ बेटर बेटर प्रोड्यूस नेक्स्ट टाइम। और जरूरी नहीं है कि ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस ही बेटर प्रोड्यूस हो, द प्रोड्यूस शुड बी ऑप्टिमम। ऐसा नहीं हो कि इट शुड गो टू द स्टोरेज यूनिट एंड इट गेट्स रॉटन ओवर देयर, जो अभी हमारे यहाँ होता है। कहीं हमने बहुत ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस कर लिया और उसको स्टोरेज कर रहे हैं, बट अल्टीमेटली it is being wasted. So what we bring into our USP is reducing the wastage. So we also do it through mobile imagery. I mean, these are the three kind of imagery systems that we take into account for. जहाँ पे, but majorly we do it through drone and satellite imagery. Drone is being done for small fields. I mean, wherein few farmers or few people chip in and come into this role for their own fields. For satellite imageries, we are working with government projects. We are working with large organizations, wherein, for example, Mondelez, we have worked for their cocoa plants. So these are large kind of projects that we are doing through satellite imagery. But mobile imagery is also a kind of technology which we can use as per the need. So what exactly is spectral analysis? It is analysis of crops. It is analysis of the produce being done through different kind of sensor and spectrometer. So wherein various sensor, including spectrometers, are being installed in the drone, in the satellites, through which we acquire data, and these can be these we use for crop analysis, soil health assessment, and for different purposes we use this thing. IoT and sensor analysis, we integrate data and analyze. Data fusion is done. Different data from drones, satellites, mobile devices, and various sensors are being taken into account, and it is a different algorithm is being developed for a particular job, कि यहाँ पे हमें क्या करना है, उसके हिसाब से हम एल्गोरिदम डेवलप करके देन वी गिव द डिसीजन सपोर्ट टू द फार्मर्स, कि साहब आपको ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, ये आपने पिछले बार सही किया था, ये आपने अभी गलत किया है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, डायबिटीज का जो मॉनिटरिंग होता है, उसमें हम 3 months का भी HB1AC लेते हैं, which is one of the most accurate measure of what exactly is diabetes doing to your body. We do that kind of disease detection for crops, जहाँ पे हम ये बताते हैं कि 3 महीने पहले, 4 महीने पहले आपके क्रॉप का क्या स्थिति था, आज आपके क्रॉप की क्या स्थिति है, based on these real time pictures and based on these real time data, you then come and take action about. We also give you support, decision support, कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, and you then take an action, and your losses are much reduced. So this is what continuous monitoring does, alert mechanism does, what we do. So in crop, for example, crop health monitoring हम लोग कैसे करते हैं? Delayed crop health responses में आपकी फसल खराब हो रही है आज, आपको मैनुअली आप ध्यान नहीं दे सकते, हर पौधे पे आप ध्यान नहीं दे सकते, हम उसको अपने इमेजरी सॉल्यूशन से उसको आपको इमीडिएट रियल टाइम बेसिस पे ला कर देते हैं, एंड देन लिवरेजिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज और इसके साथ आप उसको ठीक कर सकते हैं। अब फॉर फार्मर्स, buying equipments is very expensive job. I mean, they would say that buying a drone, buying a spectral sensor is very expensive job for us. So we also give them farming equipments on limited access. I mean, we give them on rentals, we give them on different kind of solutions, so that these technologies are being induced into the product. Then comes the suboptimal farming information. Lack of precise information and advisory services can result in suboptimal farming practices and reduced yields. That is what I have been talking without slides also, कि हम अगर टाइम रहते हुए इंटरवेंशन कर रहे हैं तो our yield is obviously improved. ड्रोन स्प्रेइंग इज समथिंग जो अभी बहुत ज्यादा चला हुआ है। इसका रीजन दो है अकॉर्डिंग टू मी। एक तो ये कि इट इज डन वेरी एफिशिएंटली एंड इन अ वेरी फास्ट मैनर, आई मीन, एंड इट आल्सो रिड्यूसेस कॉस्ट। कॉस्ट कैसे रिड्यूस करता है कि जो दवा की छिड़काव आप 1 एकड़ में करते हैं, हम वो दवा का छिड़काव आपको उससे ज्यादा एकड़ में सेम एफिशिएंसी के साथ करके देते हैं. सो द कॉस्ट ऑफ मेडिसिन इज ऑल्सो बीइंग टेकन केयर ऑफ देयर. एंड मैनुअल लेबर से क्या है, जहां पे आप 1 एकड़ को छिड़काव करने में बहुत समय लगाते हैं, वी ओनली टेक 3 to 4 minutes फॉर स्प्रेइंग ऑप्टिमम मेडिसिन इनटू दैट. सो यहाँ पे drones as a spraying mechanism for agriculture sector is a boon. Then we have got agri path labs. बहुत सारा path labs जैसे जांच घर होता है, वैसे ही soils के लिए different leaves के लिए, different crops के लिए we have got soil labs, जहाँ पे हम उसके exact testing, exact nature को analyze करके we then give you information कि क्या ये है और इस पे क्या difference लाना चाहिए हमें, क्या फर्टिलाइजर का यूज करना है, क्या मैन्योर्स का यूज करना है, तो इसको हम लोग यहाँ बताते हैं. द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इज द फाइनेंशियल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ इट. आई मीन you are doing everything, you are doing precision farming, you are including all the technologies, you are including everything, but there is a term called force majeure, where something is not in your control, under your control. I mean, it is कुदरती कहर जिसको कहते हैं. सो वहां पे क्रॉप फाइनेंसिंग एंड इंश्योरेंस कम्स इनटू पिक्चर, जहां पे हमारा जो भी प्रोड्यूस है दैट इज बीइंग इंश्योर्ड. सो यू आर एक्चुअली रिलीव्ड फ्रॉम द आउटपुट, द bad output that can take place. So we are also doing crop financing and crop insurance so that सारे स्टेक होल्डर सेफ रहें और अल्टीमेट गोल अचीव हो सके. Then irrigation automation is something which is very much needed these days, क्योंकि आप दिन भर खड़े होकर के पानी पटाना और ये सब नहीं कर सकते हैं. So spraying mechanisms through different automatic pipes and these are being taken care of, ये हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं. इससे वाटर वेस्टेज भी कम होता है, ऑप्टिमल क्रॉप ग्रोथ भी होता है. So these things we can bring into our farming system and we can improve our yield. Then comes transportation and storage. टाइमली किसी सामान का, किसी यील्ड का स्टोरेज पे पहुंच जाना और सही टेम्परेचर पे, सही कंडीशन पे स्टोर होना भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो दीज थिंग्स are much more needed to look after for your proper crop monitoring. Then manpower, we also provide manpower services. Skilled labor का shortage है farming में, we train them, we build their capacity, and we then make them know about the new technologies and innovations that are being taken care of. So यहाँ पे भी हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी को through manpower services we can improve our crop yield. Now the basic issue lies कि हमने प्रोड्यूस कर लिया, उसका सेल्स, उसकी मार्केटिंग और उसका एक्सपोर्ट. So farmers may struggle with marketing their produce and assessing markets for export. Our app facilitates agri input sales, crop marketing, export services, which help farmers to connect with markets and buyers for their agriculture products. So the entire ecosystem is being integrated in one single platform, जहां पे आप टेक्नोलॉजी को क्रॉप में लाते हुए अपने क्रॉप को कहां पे एंड यूजर को भेजना है वो भी हम आपको फैसिलिटेट कर सकते हैं. So these are the basic things that can be according to us, if can be brought into the farming system. The farming system can overall change. I mean, the drone mapping or aerial mapping, which maps the entire image of a farm, gives a historical data based on which we can take decisions for our future yields. Drone spraying, which I already talked about, is something which has become which is giving advantage to every kind of farmers. Spraying safety hazards, health hazards is being taken care of it, because no manual intervention, no human intervention is being done there. A larger area is being covered in a very short span of time and at a very optimum cost. Then we have agribusiness facilities like crop insurance, logistics, cold storages we are bringing into this ecosystem. So precision agriculture offers a major benefit with low expenses and high income. Services like drone spraying and renting agri equipment reduce farming costs, while having buyers on the same platform creates more competition, leading to a better price for crops. I mean, you would be having much more advantage if you bring in technology and these kind of data-driven technology into your farming system. You can race ahead in your competition with other farmers that are doing on it in a rotten way. So rental equipments of your systems and technologies can also give you extra income. Then crop marketing can also give you extra income for your crops. So what are the basic problems faced by farmers and its solution? See, health and safety risks. मैनुअल स्प्रेइंग में क्या होता है, डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ केमिकल से आप स्प्रे कर रहे हैं या आपने किसी लेबर को रख रखा है स्प्रे कर रहे हैं, then these are health hazards. This is being taken care of by drone spraying, wherein no manual intervention is done, a proper distance is maintained between the spraying and the human intervention, and health is basically taken care of, and you don't need to include much labor force for your large fields. So impact on crops and livestock. Farmers with advanced insights into fluctuating weather conditions, extreme events, enabling them to safeguard their crops and livestock. If you have data prior to something happening, you will definitely try to safeguard yourself. So data is very important for any kind of industry. So we believe in real-time data, and data should be backed by the technology. जो आप कर रहे हैं, क्या पिछले साल क्या हुआ था, पहले क्या हुआ था, उसके बेसिस पे हम आपको डेटा प्रोवाइड करते हैं. Data should be accurate and real time. Then staying updated on the latest agricultural technologies is challenging for some small scale farmers with limited resources. Our app definitely helps into it. Organization like Just Agriculture helps you to do it. So capacity development is very much needed. आप क्या चल रहा है, what is the latest trend, you must know about it. क्या नहीं होना है उसके बारे में आपको जानना चाहिए. Market access is very much important for any industry कि आपका सामान बिक जाए finally. आपका सामान बिकना is important. बिकने के लिए उसका क्वालिटी में रहना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज कोई भी खराब सामान नहीं खरीदता है. सो if we produce our product with proper technological innovations, proper standards and with optimum quality, आपका market access would be very easy. So what are our customers and what ecosystems we are building? See, first is farmers. इनका pain points क्या है? Limited access to advanced technologies, uncertainty in crop health monitoring, challenges in obtaining financial support and insurance, lack of precision in agricultural practices. What we bring in, we give them technologies like drone and give them precise crop health monitoring systems. We give them crop financing and insurance services. We give them advisory services. See, बहुत लोग होता क्या है, अपने हिसाब से काम करते रहते हैं बट किसी से पूछने में हिचकते हैं. So that expertise that we bring in there obviously gives them a leverage over others कि हाँ यहाँ पे हमें ये इस हिसाब से करना है और चीजें अच्छी होती हैं फिर. And we provide one-step platform for various services. Our second stakeholder is the brand and company. What is the pain point of any company that is into this sector? It is tough for agricultural brands to reach and be known in different farming communities, which makes it hard for them to grow in the market. Brands might not have enough info about what farmers like, making it tricky to create products and marketing plans that suit different agriculture areas of need. What we do here is we tell farmers कि आप इस ब्रांड का छिड़काव करें, दवा का इस ब्रांड का इस चीज के लिए करें, based on prior historical data, based on different efficacies that we have seen across our fields. क्योंकि हम लोग बहुत सारे fields में काम करते हैं, उसके हिसाब से हम different brands की efficacy के हिसाब से different जगह उसको propose कर सकते हैं. So our app also gives data to brands कि आपको इस हिसाब से अपने products को develop करना है, आपको ये changes लाना है based on the health of the crops that is being decreasing or differentiating over the years. So we give data to brand and companies also. Then comes retailers. retailers का pain point होता है, it is hard for retailers to connect with many different farmers, causing problems in reaching and helping their target customers efficiently. Retailers can find it tough to connect with lots of farmers, making it hard to help their customers well. Retailers face challenging because they don't have up-to-date information on what farmers needs and current agricultural trends, making it tough to offer the right products. So what we bring in, we give them the correct insight of what exactly is being produced in which area and what exactly is being produced in which area, and according to that they can bring in their products for sale. We can also give supply chain issue, resolve supply chain through these informations. Then coming on to government and institutions. Government and institutions can take advantage of these mapping, the field mapping from different kind of natural calamities. We can give them the data that यहाँ पे ये area flooded है. They can collaborate with government bodies and local institutions, and they can then help the farmers and people to change the scenario over there. We then give data to, it can also help banking and financial institutions in assessing the credit worthiness of that individual farmer. I mean, if a farmer is producing very well, doing very well, our data can back them, back their produce, can give advantage to the farmer that yes, we can validate that farmer in front of the bank that these people are taking good care of their business, and they can be given additional advantage from the banks. We are also creating employment through this. Our health sathis are appointed who bring in business, who bring in the connect, who becomes the connect point between farmers and different stakeholders. So employment is also being generated through this. So what exactly we are doing? Plant population analysis. How do we do? Drones equipped with high resolution cameras captures image of the agricultural fields. Then based on AI algorithm processes, these images are identified and individual plants are counted accurate. So the accurate plant population data is given. Report generation is being done through detailed report on distribution and density of plants in the field. Pest damage analysis we can do it through data collection, AI processing, and report generation. Then disease detection analysis we can do again by using multispectral or hyperspectral sensors. We can collect data on crop health and indicators. AI processing can be done on those through different algorithms, and we can identify diseases, enabling early detection, which can again be preventive than being sorry. Then we can see the plant stress analysis, how the plants are various stress indicators can be captured through drones, such as temperature, humidity, and nutrient levels of the plants can be taken care of. Again, by AI algorithms, data and access the data to assess the stress level of plants, indicating potential issues in the field. The most important thing is weed control. So drone captures images to identify weed growth within the crop fields. I mean, which you cannot see from I mean, if there is a crop which is very dense in nature, and where through proper naked eyes you cannot see what exactly is growing in between. So our these kinds of technology actually take care of that, wherein these captures images to identify weed growth within the crop fields, and then again we apply AI algorithms to differentiate between crops and weeds. It is very important to differentiate between the crops and the weeds. So we do that, and providing information for weed infestation. So based on that, farmers can take preventive measures and can provide. We then also discuss with them and then provide different decisions how to take the control of. I mean, how to control the weeds in their field. So this is what technology brings into your farming. Then flowering analysis. These images also monitor the flowering stages of crops. I mean, which stage is crop right now, and what exactly is the stage of requirement to be taken care of. I mean, अभी जिस स्टेज में वहां पे क्या खाद डालना है, वहां पे क्या चीजें करनी है, उसके बेसिस पे that can be done again through different AI algorithms and through different reports. This is something which is very interesting. I mean, we give eagle eye reports. Drones capture high resolution and aerial images to provide a comprehensive overview of the entire agricultural landscape. I mean, if you can see a very large picture of a field at one point and you can analyze what crop is being grown where, this can give you a better insight. And this is basically for our governments and institutions to bring in their importance into this industry. Nitrogen status analysis is very important for soils and crops development. So our drones are equipped with sensors which measures nitrogen levels in the soil and crops. Then again, through AI algorithms, we interpret nitrogen data to assess the nutrient status of the plants. So proper nutrition is being taken care of. So these kind of supports we also give. Water logging analysis. I mean, water logging is something which is helpful for farmers also, and which is helpful for government and institutions also. Then drought analysis. I mean, which field these kind of analysis are for government, for the help of government. I mean, for their subsidies, for their compensation plans, we can use these kind of data. So again, canopy analysis is done to assess the canopy structure and density of crops. Evapotranspiration and moisture analysis is done through can be done through these kind of technologies. So a farm network is a digital network of farm is hereby grown, wherein through drones and satellites, high resolution images are captured and data is collected. It is being integrated through devices with IoT-enabled sensors for real-time monitoring of various farm promoters. Real-time crop information is given. Visibility to potential buyers is given. Government compensation, government subsidies are being delivered in proper way. Agronomists and experts recommendations as an advisory services can be taken properly through these data. And quality agrochemicals and fertilizers can be used. So the supply chain thereby optimizes. Automation and digital twin is created. It is each farm capturing its own physical and operational characteristics, enables automation of farm processes and tasks. You can do virtual farming from anywhere. I mean, you don't have to be present in the field for doing your farming through these kind of technologies. It is a two-way network for stakeholders, wherein various stakeholders such as retailers, logistics providers, agronomists, government agencies, crop marketing companies, and financial institutions, everyone is integrated to work for the betterment of your produce. Then crop loss assessment can be done very easily from these technologies, and insurance and risk management can be taken care of. Crop marketing services can be done through this. Connect farmers directly with crop marketing companies and streamline marketing processes, streamline the supply chain system. Then social media like farm networks, wherein you bring in different people on the same platform, and new technologies, new things can be discussed over these social platforms for capacity development. So digital farm network can empower farmer, market access and fair pricing can be taken care of. Government policy can get support out of it. Efficient supply chain can be done. Precision agriculture can be done. Data-driven innovation can be brought into it. I mean, if you have proper data and proper historical analysis of your produce, proper innovations can be taken care of. Environmental sustainability is maintained. Community is collaborating as a whole to bring in knowledge exchange. Global accessibility is given to you. I mean, Internet of Things actually gives you the global accessibility where you can do anything out of it. Then risk mitigation and insurance is one part of it, which is very important for your business. So Hull app basically give data-driven decision making, access to real-time data. We give you market access. We give you advisory services. Government agencies can help benefit from our data for policy formulation, quick compensation, data-driven governance. Agro businesses can benefit from these kind of technology in their supply chain optimization, market intelligence, and risk mitigation. Researchers and academia can use this data for research, for innovations, for knowledge exchange. And actually, researchers and academicians involved in this sector need these data for a, they are very much important for development of these kind of innovations. Financial institutions can benefit from this app as they can judge the credit worthiness of a particular farmer, they can mitigate their risks. Technology providers also have a platform integration for this, and they have a market access wherein they can provide their technology. Environmental agencies can sustainably monitor their farming practices. Impact assessment of any kind of agricultural activities on environment can be judged through these data, and preventive measures can be taken. Consumers are benefited through quality assurance. I mean, consumers get a good quality product if such kind of technology is being brought into this thing. And support for sustainable practices, encouragement of sustainable farming practices increases. So these are some of the unique features of our app. We create digital farm community. We work in two-way networks wherein all the stakeholders have multiple perspective on farm-related activities and services. Which benefit from efficient communication, collaboration, and access to a diverse range of services. Real-time advisory services are given. So correct data and real-time data is very much important for anything to take care of. Marketplace integration is then all the stakeholders are brought into same place for their products, and obviously it gives you remote accessibility. So I think we have talked enough about the digital integration of our technology and what exactly we do. So I would end my presentation here. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to me with so much patience and so much. Thank you very much. Any questions to ask or any comments on this?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Abhijit, sir.
Thank you.
Now, I
Very
would like to request all the participants, if any participant is having any query, they can kindly unmute themselves or raise your hand. Sir is available with us. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Nagarani, ma'am. Please unmute.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, sir, it was wonderful presentation, sir. So much of development has been going on to support farmers directly or indirectly, whatever way, that can be possible. So I was very happy to see so much of progress that is happening. And a very small thing I wanted to ask you, like these apps are user friendly as I see. And whatever the services that you said, no, is being provided, like if they want to get some information or consultation
Ma'am, I'm
for
sorry if you
their
can come. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. If you can come again, there was some internet problem.
Yeah, sure,
Your
sure.
voice broke.
I was asking you, like these apps are very user friendly, what I can see. And I wanted to know, like, if farmer wants to connect with any of the consultant who can support them and provide them some information regarding, like, if there is any pest infection or he needs any fertilizer, what kind of fertilizer right now he has to apply on his farm. So for this, he has to provide any fees, or it's like what you call free of service, or how it is like?
And we are doing it as you have seen in the initial presentation slides. Our Krishna Gyan platform is free of services, wherein any kind of data being supplied to that portal is being analyzed by our experts, and a proper remedy for that thing is being given. So this is completely free of service. That Krishi Gyan is completely free of service. Only drone spraying and technology based services are charged. That is also, that is again very optimally. But yes, these kind of knowledge based informations which actually brings in changes in the industry is free of cost. And we also encourage people to come onto our platform, give their input, so that we also have data to validate, and we also have data to innovate ourselves.
Okay, thank you, sir. If any other participant is having any other query, please unmute yourself or raise your hand, or you can drop your query in chat box. Sir, Dr. Gayatri is asking one question, that how can we detect micronutrient status in the soil by drone? Is it possible that, as you have mentioned, nitrogen status can be identified in the field, so we can detect micronutrient also?
See, it is possible, but the accuracy is a questionable thing as of now. So we are working on it to improve the accuracy of it. But yes, nutrient analysis inside the plant is something which can be detected, but I mean, we cannot validate the accuracy as of now, but we are working on it.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I think our next co-host and the speaker has joined the session. So Preeti, are you there?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible. So Abhijit, sir, thank you so much, sir, for joining us on this online platform
Thank
and
you again for giving this opportunity to us.
delivering a vast experience with all our participants. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Now,
you.
Preeti, it's over to you. Please carry
Thank you,
forward.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Abhijit, sir. It was a wonderful presentation, and of course, on the behalf of our team, we thank you. So, moving towards the next session. For the second session, we have with us Mr. Francisco Arlia, sir. Sir, are you there in the meeting? So, please unmute yourself, sir. You're not able to unmute yourself, sir. Okay, sir, by which name you have joined? Okay, okay. I will just make you the co-host, sir. Yeah. So just wait for a couple of minutes. We'll just make the arrangements, sir. So please try this time, sir. I think you are unable to unmute yourself now.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Good evening, sir. Welcome once
Good.
again, sir.
Good evening. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, sir. Morning, sir. Sir, before I invite you for the talk, I will just give a brief introduction, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So
Thank
for
you.
the second session, we have with us a wonderful person, Mr. Francisco Earlier, sir. He's the founder and CEO of Harmonics Corporation. Sir has an extensive history as a business professional with 32 years of experience as a forensic accountant, business engineer, and a strategic visionary. His current passion, Harvest Harmonics, headquarters in Clearwater, Florida, in the United States, and has corporate offices in India, Australia, South Africa, and Italy. Is a biophysics and agricultural technology company that benefits farmers worldwide. Harvest Harmonics has the vision and strategy to evolve the agricultural industry worldwide by transitioning it from the chemical farming age to the last 120 years into the bioenergy farming age for the next 300 years. Harvest Harmonics has the potential to become one of the biggest companies in the world with no end in sight to its potential growth and strength. So it will also be the basis for increasing overall health conditions worldwide. So, sir, we are more than happy to have you here once again at our digital platform of Just Agriculture. Our participants are anticipating an insightful talk from you, sir. So you're very welcome on the podium and please address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. And thank you for having me. It's been it's a pleasure. I know I've presented to the group in the past, and I've enjoyed my presentations. The first thing I want to let everyone know is that you have to think with new advanced technology. We live in a society where everything is moving so fast, and if you don't keep up with the times, you kind of fall behind. So the inventor of this technology, my partner, Mr. Fulvio Balmelli from Como, Italy, he basically developed this technology starting with the concept of it starting 30 years ago. And then 20 years ago was discovering that it was very possible through his research. And then he came up with the first prototype, which was over 10 years ago. It was about 14 years ago. And I became involved 10 years ago, finished the funding to complete what is the first micro transmitter. If you can see my screen, this micro transmitter, name of the technology is called Kiminasi. Okay. And this micro transmitter has the information, actual programming at a quantum physics level to communicate the information that plants need to expand and reach their genetic potential. So I'll give you just a quick overview. Everyone is familiar with genetically modified organisms, GMOs, okay? And they serve their purpose for many, many years. This technology is actually the complete dichotomy, the complete opposite, okay? It's approaching helping the plants organically and getting the plants to just reach their genetic potential, because their genetic potential will allow them to, deal with climate change more easily. Rather than trying to modify the plants, we get them to become more stronger, more powerful by reaching their genetic potential. So we refer to our technology as OMG, organically managed genetics. Okay. And we basically just give the plants the information to reach their genetic potential. That information was gathered over many, many, many years of research and studying of plants, and then it was, extensively tested. So I'm going to give you an overview now. I'm going to share my screen and give you an overview of the company and how the technology works, our purpose. And before getting into that, I wanted to give you like a look at the technology and understand a little bit more about it. and then I can answer as many questions. So I'm going to keep my presentation as short as possible so that I can answer many, many questions. So please, as you're listening, write down your questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them all towards the end. Okay? All right, here we go. Welcome to the future of sustainable farming. This technology is the future of farming. It is definitely something that we expect the whole world to be using in the future, from small farmers in India and Africa and around the world to the largest conglomerates. It is available for everyone, and it is easy to use, provided you're using an irrigation system. Now, I know that there was a gentleman speaking earlier about drones and monitoring drones, and we've had presenters at this presentation for drone providers. Understand that the technology can even be used with drones. Okay, any type of irrigation system right now, any type of method for delivering water or other liquids to the plants, our technology can be attached, and it can also serve the purpose of getting the information to the plants through water. Okay, so let's move on. Harvest Harmonics. Our mission is to create, together with responsible agricultural innovative partners, a civilization with productive and economic growth that reduces poverty, hunger, and climate change, and reverts the ecological damage to our water and land. We do this in complete alignment with the Sustainability Development Goals as published by the United Nations. And we actually align with all 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which I don't know any other company that can say that, but we can say it because there's direct and indirect ways that we align with the sustainability goals of the United Nations. So let's talk about the major problems. Can everybody see my screen clearly?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Fantastic. So when I was investigating, and the inventor was investigating, what are the major problems? Because if you find the real source of the problem, then and you resolve that, it handles so many of the other problems that we're dealing with. Okay. So in studying the multitude of issues in the world, and health issues, environmental issues, climate change issues, as I'm a forensic accountant. So I'm an investigator of numbers, but I applied that knowledge and that ability to investigating, the agricultural industry and seeing, where are the main source of problems that all these other solutions have to be developed in order to resolve those main problems. And I narrowed it down to two after a tremendous amount of research and testing. I narrowed it down to two major problems: water pollution and soil ecology destruction. So when you realize what we are doing to our soils with all the chemicals and with all the inputs, even if you're using fertilizers and you're over fertilizing, okay, you're actually creating a damage to the soil. There is a way to, apply these inputs in a sustainable method to get the maximum out of a plant. But most farmers are not familiar with that information. They feel that if I add more fertilizer, I'm going to get more product or more yield, and it doesn't actually work that way. There's a limit to what the plant can absorb. And it's the same thing if you use yourself as an example, okay? Very simply, if you were to drink 3 gallons of water very quickly, you would get sick and may not even live. You could actually get so sick that you could die. You know, even 1 gallon of water, if you drank it very quickly, it could make you very sick. So, you know, there's a limit. Everything should be done in a gradient, and there's a process to it. And we wanted to find out what that limit was, or what the process was to get the optimum results with plants. But we had to find out, you know, what were the main issues that the plants were dealing with. So the plants and the world are dealing with water pollution and soil ecology destruction. I've explained a little bit about the soil ecology destruction. By using too many inputs, pesticides, chemicals, we have destroyed our soils, released carbon into the air, and a tremendous amount of nitrogen into the air from all the excess nitrogen in the fertilizers. And now those components are what's creating the change in the climate. It's heating up the air, and we're dealing with those problems. And so climate change has become the topic of conversation for the last 20 years, but extensively in the last 2-3 years. It's like everyone is on this problem now. Also, using those chemicals and using all those inputs have leached into the soil because we're using an excessive amount of them. They've leached into the soil. They get into our waterways, and they've polluted our water to the point that now the water bottle industry is the #1 selling liquid in the world. You know, the water sales have surpassed all of the soft drink sales put together. If you took every single other drink in the world, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all these fruit drinks, all of them, Snapple, all the different name brands all over the world, and you put them all together, they would not surpass or even come close to the water sales around the world, because we don't trust our water anymore. And we can't trust our water because of all the chemicals that have been in the soil that then leach into the water. And now that water has to be cleaned, and we use a chemical process to clean the water. So regardless, there's always chemicals in the water, and we don't trust the water anymore. So now we drink water from a bottle. Okay, this has been a problem around the world. So we have, and I literally just traveled from Gambia, Africa, where I brought the technology to demonstrate to the heads of the government. I met with the vice president of the country. I met with the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Water and Water Resources, and several other ministers. And I presented to all of them. And even there, water is a problem. In the country itself, most of the visitors all drink bottled water. Most of the residents, because of financial reasons, they have to drink the water that's available to them. And so it's really a problem internationally. So now that we understand these two problems, and I'll get into more granular detail with them, let me show you how we helped in this situation. Okay, help resolve these two main problems that then affect our health, our future. So to understand the problem in detail, you need to understand that 70% of all the water in the world is used by agriculture. So understand that concept. 70% of all the water in the entire planet that's being used on a daily basis between restaurants and schools and your homes and hotels and car wash, wherever you see water being used, that's a lot of water, not just in India, but all over the world. Okay, there's a lot of water being used all day long. but 70% of all the water being used is used for agriculture. So that means everyone in the world is only consuming 30% of the water daily. Okay? Now, when you multiply that by the fact that 95% of the world's agriculture is conventional, well, now we have an interesting formula, which is simple math, right? 70 times the 95% tells us that 66% of the worldwide water is poisoned daily through agriculture, because 95% of the world's water, the world's agriculture is conventional, which uses toxic chemicals, pesticides, inorganic fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, and soil conditioners. These are all being used, and water is then being applied through them and with them. So all of that water is being poisoned. Okay? So you really have to understand this problem. Okay? Now, what happens with that water? That water and those chemicals are getting into our soil. That combination is killing off our microbes. Now, without microbes, we don't survive. We will never survive. Okay? The microbes in our stomach help us to digest our food, break down our food, and keep us healthy. All right? The microbes in the soil, they literally, have a function of creating natural fertilizer, okay, and energy and nutrients for the plants. So we want to work synergistically with, the microbes, not against them. But what we're doing is we're technically trying to replace them, which is impossible. You cannot replace nature. You can add, some inputs, and the more organic those inputs are, like natural fertilizers or composting and natural amendments. But when we're adding so many chemicals and pesticides, we're killing off on a daily basis. We're killing off 50%, up to 50% of the microbes, and they have to work against that to reproduce. It's becoming a serious problem, because when you kill off the microbes, it's the beginning of, creating a desert. And we see this all over the world. We're creating deserts where there used to be, flourishing lands. You can see it anywhere you see a farm that's being aggressively used with chemicals. You can see that the soil is becoming more and more dead, and they have to. They're in this awful cycle that they have to keep adding chemicals to replace what they've killed off. So this is how we handle the climate change, and how we handle the sicknesses around the world, by reversing this. We need to start using less chemicals, okay, and start using more advanced technology that will help the plants and support the plant's physiology to support the microbes, and the microbes to support the plants. We have to align with nature, okay? Not try to bypass and take over. So, and that is what our technology does. So now we understand the two problems, okay, and how detrimental they are. And so this is the reason why the United Nations came up with the 17 SDGs, because if you look at them, you'll see that many of them are actually aligning with solving these two problems. Okay, so the solution is the Channelize plants technology. It's a revolutionary new technology that improves the health of plants, humans, and the environment. I'll refer to it as the KPCB, or just the crop booster. So the crop booster technology can be installed on any irrigation system in the world. Our system consists of microtransmitters programmed with the specific biophysical frequencies that a plant and its environment need for optimal operation and maximum biological potential. These biophysical signals reach the plant via water through the irrigation system. The KPCB crop booster can be installed on any irrigation system anywhere in the world for any size farming operation. The crop booster will bring the plants and their environment to their optimal potential while producing healthier yields for the public and better economic growth for the farmer. Everyone wins. Now, when a farmer prepares the land for planting, carbon and nitrogen get released into the atmosphere as greenhouse gases. All right, I'm going to get into explaining how the technology works. Okay, so when the farmer is preparing the land, this is what happens. Carbon and nitrogen, okay, CO2 and nitrogen are being released, and they're coming out of the land and into the air. And this is what's heating up the air. Okay, so we plant our seeds, and then using the crop booster soil, the microorganisms in the soil can pull the CO2 and nitrogen out of the air and into the soil. So we plant our seeds, we start watering, we get some growth. Once we have this growth, okay, photosynthesis can start with the plant. And so the plant now has our programming to help it reach its natural potential. And it starts literally boosting the plant's photosynthesis potential. And it now wants to absorb more sun. Okay, so our plants, rather than becoming, the effect of the sun and suffering from the sun, they actually want more sun. Okay, and the plants become literally more intelligent, but it's an intelligence that they already have. They're just tapping into their native ability. And so as they keep receiving the information, they will expand faster. They will power boost their ability to photosynthesize. They will convert that energy into sugar. They'll store more of that sugar. They'll have more of that energy available to defend themselves against pests, and also interact with the microbes in the soil to then, feed the microbes the excess sugar. The microbes will bring them more nutrients. The microbe population expanding. Now the microbes start doing their job of pulling nitrogen and carbon out of the air into the soil and converting that into a natural fertilizer. So for the scientists that are on this call that understand this physiology, you could explain that part of it better than myself, but you understand that what I'm saying is a truth. This is the plant's physiology, and this is the microbes' physiology. This is what they do. And we basically boost that entire system, okay, the natural system of plants. So as they're doing that, they will then pull, the microbe population will grow and will start putting more energy back into the soil, pulling the CO2, carbon, and the nitrogen out of the air into the soil and expanding. This will reach a point that the lands will start to flourish. The energy will be back in the soil. Then you'll start seeing grasses growing. You'll start seeing other plant life growing, okay? And we will turn our deserts, back into, the flourishing, beautiful lands that they were. Now, there are other specialists in the world that are working on unique properties, amendments to add to the deserts to accelerate their growth. So together, we have a bright future ahead of us. But this technology that works on the plant's physiology to amplify its ability to maximize its genetic potential is absolutely needed. So this is the overview of how the technology works. These are the Sustainable Development Goals. There's 17 of them. And I'm not going to go into all the details, step by step, but, no poverty, improving efficiency of agriculture, and help, feed more communities. That's what we do with our technology. Zero hunger, increasing yield on all farms, increasing shelf life, because our technology will also improve the plant's nutrient density, so that the fruits and vegetables that are grown will last longer. Okay, it will take them longer to spoil. So because of that, then food can be more easily transported throughout the community, or to other parts of the country, or to export. Okay, and that is a big savings for exporters and for large producers. But the majority of the world is small farmers that service and interchange in a local community and within the country. So this is a big benefit for zero hunger, because less food will go to waste. Absolutely. Improving good health and well-being. Well, improving nutrition of food and reducing toxic chemicals in the food is the biggest way of improving the health. Okay. So, and we've already demonstrated this with animals, because with our scientific trials where the animals were eating the grasses and the fodder grown with our technology, the cows were producing more milk and better quality milk. The skin of the animals became better, and the animals became healthier. So obviously, whatever's happening with the animal population that's eating our food would happen with us. The same thing would happen with us. There is an old saying that says, "You are what you eat," and it's true. So we are eating chemical-based food right now. I don't think anyone can question that. Okay, and we see this all over the newspapers and all over the internet and all over our chats that we're involved in, how food is being traced, and countries aren't accepting imports from other countries because the traceability of the chemicals is too high. It's not passing their requirements. I've read several articles lately where India is specifically suffering this situation with exporting to Europe. Europe is not accepting certain imports from India any longer, at least not this year. And so India has to make some changes, and this technology can help them with those changes so that they will reduce their chemical inputs and still get good, flourishing, healthy food that they can export. And so I can go on, but these are the 17 SDGs, and these are the details on how we support them, okay, and align with them. Here's another 5, and then these are the last 2. So I'll focus a little bit on this very last one, because we are looking, to partner with governments, large companies, the FAO, the USDA, NGOs around the world, so we can more affordably deliver this technology to all the farmers, okay, and help reduce the chemicals, improve, food sustainability, soil sustainability, and let's handle this climate change, once and for all. So there is a solution. There are other solutions out there, I'm sure, that we align with, and I'm looking forward to working with, organizations of any size to, get this technology out and utilized so that it'll benefit all. Keep in mind that the technology is affordable by every single country. So and by the way, anyone who would like to have a copy of this presentation, I'm going to put it into the chat right now. Let's see. Actually, here it is. I'm going to put an email, service@harvestharmonics.com. Make sure I spelled that correctly. Service@harvestharmonics.com. Perfect. So let's see. If you would like a copy of the presentation. Okay. Fantastic. So it's up there, and let's continue. So now I'll give you some of our scientific studies, right, around the world. This was a corn study at the University of Santander in Colombia. This was it was an incredible study. We wind up getting it's a crazy amount of well, look, I'll just give you the numbers. 583% increase over the control in corn, and 815% increase in the total yield of fodder, because there was the forage, not just the corn ears, but all the physiology of the plant, all the biomass of the plant. Our stalks grew twice as large, so we wind up with so much more biomass to feed the animals. And then they did the study where they were feeding the animals, and the animals are getting healthier. So, and this university is continuously doing studies with us because they're so impressed with our technology. Here, what they did is they wanted to test the technology to its maximum potential. So they took 2 fields and they separated the fields, and they basically cut back the water 50%. They used no pesticides, no fertilizers, no inputs on both sides. And so the corn with the control field that didn't have our technology had no support whatsoever, and it produced very little yield. And the other field that had our technology, but still 50% water, less water, and no fertilizer, no inputs whatsoever, and it outproduced the control by 8 times. So, I mean, there's a lot more information here about the increase in fat content, mineral content, bricks, titratable acidity. There's just better quality corn and a lot more of it. So this is one example. This is our first trial that we did. We did this one in the middle of COVID, and the only thing the university was able to measure because of COVID was the increasing yield, and this was on watermelons. And again, this is our very first trial. We had several trials at the same time, but because of COVID, they were all shut down. All the universities shut down. They canceled all the trials. This was the only university in Peru that continued. Here's more corn and fodder growth in Ecuador. You can see by the picture how big our corn stalks are. They were twice the size of the control field, and the scientist on the right with the blue vest and the gray jacket, the gray sweatshirt, he was the one that wanted to take this picture to show that the stalks were almost 15 feet. Let's see. This is also a scientific trial in Ecuador with Espach, University of Espach. And we had 100% increase in strawberry growth. Again, with the Polytechnical School of Chimborazo and Espach, alfalfa, clover, and ryegrass. And we had 100% increase in the height, a 92% increase in tonnage, and we were able to grow the fodder 30% less time. So instead of 55 days that it took to control, we were able to do it in 39 days. This was Ramat Negev in the deserts of Israel, and there, on their best tomatoes, we were able to outproduce by 20.48%. So we've got great results on their best tomatoes. And this was a test that was done with high saline water. They want to see if the technology could resist the problems of salinity. And we knew that we could, but we needed to prove it because we had already proven it with farm studies in South America. So more of the trials in Ecuador. This was improvement, and this was it was originally a potato farm trial, which went really well. We got a 130% increase in the potato growth, yield. But the scientists started noticing that the field was irrigating two parts of the field. One was the potatoes, and then the rest of the water was going to irrigate the pasture for 24 cows. And there were similar pastures of 24 cows in the vicinity because it was all the same farm, so they kept 24 cows in each pen. And what they noticed were the 24 cows that were eating the grass that was being serviced by our water. Within a month, they were producing 50 liters of milk extra per day, and then the next month they were doing 80 liters extra per day, and then the third month they got up to 140 liters of extra milk per day. But just these 24 cows compared to the other 24 cows and the different pens. That's how they got their comparison. So then they decided to test the grass, and they realized that the grass had 19.4% more dry matter, 28% more iron, 79.1% more manganese, 13% more potassium, 12.5% more calcium, 34.6% more copper, 67.1% more zinc, and 15.1% more boron. Basically, the grass was so much healthier, and it was making the cows healthier, and the cows were producing more milk. So this was by accident that this study came out, but it was amazing. The other thing that they were impressed by was because the control, it took 30 days to grow the grass for grazing, but with the crop booster, it took 16 days. So the cows were grazing a lot faster and a lot more grass. They had more food to eat, because of the growth. So that sparked other universities to now start doing these types of trials. This was a government trial with Sena on oil palm in Ecuador also, where we got 7.3% increase in blade width and 5% increase in diameter. Then this was a trial with the government of Ecuador in the area called SIDEJ. SIDEJ is the Commission of Studies for the Development of the Guayas Basin. And there they did another very tough test where they took our technology with zero fertilizer. So when you look at nitrogen fertilizer, there's 0 fertilizer with our section, but on the control section, they put 100% fertilizer. They wanted to see what the difference would be. And we wind up getting 14.29% increase in yield on rice, 16.1% increase in the weight of the spikes, and an 8.56% increase in weight of 100 grains. And then again, we did it with 0 fertilizer. So, for more examples of field results, you can visit harvestharmonics.com/results. We have results coming in on a weekly basis from farmers around the world. We have over 150, and at this point, probably even more, 150 case studies from different farmers, governments, and universities around the world. I just gave you some of our university studies and government studies, but we're working with other governments, and we've been really getting this technology out there so that people can start using it. We developed what's called a sustainability optimization protocol. Okay, this is how you use our technology in a way that, and you create your own experiment so that you can find out what is the optimum usage of fertilizer and water, so that you can minimize the amount of water that you use, minimize the amount of fertilizer that you use, start replacing your chemical fertilizer with biological fertilizer or composting, and see that you get even better results with the natural inputs. So we developed this system, and it's available. When we sell the technology or we do trials with universities around the world, we provide this actual system of how to do it, which is not complicated, and you can get the greatest optimization. So you can save the most amount of money, get the greatest yield, and create the least amount of damage to the soil, to the air, and to the plants. And so I'm proud to say that in India, I'm sure you've heard of Lovely University. They are now doing their second or third trial with us. They've utilized our sustainability optimization protocol, and the professors there, they love this system. They get to see exactly how the technology works. They get to see all the benefits of the technology, and they get to see how much fertilizer and water and basic inputs they can actually save. So they see that this is a super viable system for the future, and they now want to continue to do trials with us endlessly. And so they're actually doing, I think, 3 trials with us right now, but they just gave us the results of their second trial, which was phenomenal. If you need to contact us, you can reach me at ceo@harvestharmonics.com. But the best way to get information and get a reply immediately would be service@harvestharmonics.com. And at this point, I will stop sharing. And I would love to answer some questions. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. Can we use this technology for improving photosynthesis and physiological efficiency in crops? How does it work? Absolutely. That is the main thing that this technology does, is it improves photosynthesis and the physiological efficiency of crops by helping the crops to obtain and reach their genetic potential. We don't actually know the genetic potential of most plants. okay, because they've never reached their genetic potential. And I think in the way that we're doing farming right now, they'll never reach their genetic potential, because by giving them chemicals and trying to push them, we're actually we're actually disabling their ability to reach their genetic potential. That's with chemicals. With our technology, it's the reverse. Okay, we're showing that with less chemicals and more either biological inputs, natural inputs, just composting, organic fertilizer, and just enough food that they need, they will take our information, our programming, and literally expand their physiological efficiency and reach their own genetic potential. You would see this more with perennials, and over time you would see this with annuals, because of harvesting. But with our trees, we get trees to grow faster, more energetic, produce more fruit, and better quality fruit. And over time, that tree is getting more and more energy, and it's reaching, those potentials. And so the tree then needs less and less chemical inputs, but it's always going to need some fertilizers, some type of composting, some type of, if we want to feed it more so that it can produce more. Absolutely, it improves photosynthesis. I just received results from a 2-year trial with showed increased biomass recorded by satellite imaging trials done in Queensland, Australia. Increased biomass on index of improved photosynthesis. As you would know, I'm the CEO for Harvest Harmonics Australia. How it works is explained in our website. Oh, that's my CEO counterpart in Australia that has tapped in and answered the question also. You're welcome, Dr. Gayatri. Let's see. Sir, can we use this under stress conditions like drought, waterlogging, alkalinity? Absolutely, 100%. We've tested this technology in areas where high salinity, heavy drought. Obviously, you need water to get to the plant, so there's got to be some water. But the fact that the plant gets water with our technology, it becomes more efficient in its use of water. So we, on average, from what we are seeing from our trialing, on average, we're seeing, up to 50% savings in water. So if the world was using 50% less water in agriculture, we would not have the water problems that we're having today. It just would. We'd have 50% more water, and that water would be more clean because there would not be the chemical inputs. So there's a lot of benefits to the world as a whole, not just the increased yield of plants. Where are the sensors placed, and in what numbers are they used? So let me clarify something. They're not sensors. They're micro transmitters. They don't gather information like a sensor would, okay? They put out information like a computer would or a program would, okay? It's a micro transmitter that puts out information, and it's constantly putting information into the water, into the irrigation system that brings it to the plants, okay? If you put nutritional sensors or biomass sensors or humidity sensors in the soil or near the plants, you can then get all the measurements that you need to see how well our technology works. Okay, we've had scientists that have done this. The best study that I've seen done was a study done by the University of Querétaro in Mexico. They actually went to a cellular level to see what our technology was doing to the plant, and how it was benefiting the plant at that cellular level. So all these studies are available on our website. Let's see. The next question is, what is that program which triggers the process in the plants to do its best? So the programs are there's over 3,000 programs. Okay, there are 3,000 communication programs that deal with the plant's physiology at all different levels. Specifically, the breaking down of the photosynthesis process of creating sugar. Okay, breaking down the sun's energy and converting it into sugar, and the interaction with the soil, and other defense mechanisms and water retention mechanisms that the plant has. Okay, so but these are all natural mechanisms of the plant, and the programming just boosts those natural mechanisms. Okay, because they're natural to the plant. So those 3,000 programs, that is the technology secret. That's our trade secret. That information, nobody can actually produce this technology. We're the only company in the world with the actual equipment that can produce it. The equipment is proprietary, but we're here to help all the farmers, and we're making it so affordable that there's no need for anyone to try and reproduce it, since we're making it so affordable for every farmer in the world. It just needs to be purchased and utilized. Let's see, next question. And that was from Dr. Nagrani. Thank you very much, Dr. Nagrani. Let's see, Mr. or Dr. Rajul Hokwe. Is there any changes in biochemical composition in grains? Well, there must be changes if the nutrient density of the grains are improving. You say the biochemical composition. I would think that the answer to that question is yes, because if we're improving the nutrient density, we're improving the increase in protein levels, we're improving the increase in boron and manganese, in these plants and in the grains and the fruits and vegetables, there must be changes that are, good changes, obviously. So the answer to that question would be yes. Is there any study done in banana farming or insights related to yield boosts in horticulture? The answer is yes and yes. Plenty of studies. Go to our website. You'll find plenty of information on yield boosts in horticulture, in all types of fruits and vegetables, flowers. Banana. We had results in banana in a few different studies. We're still gathering information. We have other studies that are happening in banana now. So the answer is yes. Let's see, Dr. Sir, is this crop booster, will it change the microclimate at rhizosphere? Okay, microclimate at rhizosphere. So I would think the answer to the question is yes, indirectly. In other words, the technology wasn't designed for that, but by boosting the plant and the plant feeding the microbes and the microbe population expanding, okay, then the microbe population, I believe, handles that. Okay, it will change the microclimate at the rhizosphere, but the microbes handle that. We just boost the plant, which then boosts the microbes. Okay, so like I said, we tap into the natural system of the plant. What is the mechanism for improving shelf life? Well, that's just very natural, because if the plant, if the fruit has more nutrition, okay, it's more nutrient dense, it naturally will stay alive longer. Okay, so the mechanism is just giving the plant more nutrients, through our programming, getting more energy from the sun and more nutrients from the soil, through the improvement of interaction with the microbes. The plant becomes stronger, healthier, and it puts that energy into the fruit, and the fruit now has it and stays longer. It's just a natural process. Okay. And then that can be easily tested, because you take the control fruit and the crop booster fruit, and you just put them on a shelf or in a refrigerator, and you count the number of days that it takes for them to rot. Such a simple test. Let's see, this Mr. or Dr. Harshil Pankia, Agri Analytics. Okay. Currently, I'm doing Masters in Science in Agricultural Analytics in Harvest Harmonics, or for internship. Absolutely. We invite all the universities around the world and all students around the world that want to get their thesis with our technology to contact us. Again, service@harvestharmonics.com. We will provide the technology for free. We remain independent from the study, completely independent financially, and we provide our sustainability protocols. We provide support in the sense of information and communication, so that you can make sure that the installation is done correctly and properly. But we do not provide any finances for your study. Okay, just to be very clear, all of our studies have been independently financed by third parties, or the universities themselves, or the governments. Okay, and that keeps us completely clean as far as our involvement with the study. So please contact us, because we definitely would like to do more studies on this. We're going to be, eventually, we expect that our technology will be taught in every university in the world. So just keep that concept. We expect that to happen, that every university in the world will want to, have our technology as a curriculum, part of their university studies, because everyone's going to be using this technology in the future. It is a future technology that all farmers and anyone growing anything needs to use. Thank you, sir, for an informative and excellent presentation. My pleasure, Doctor. Thank you, sir, for the best information. Thank you. My pleasure. How do we collaborate with our NGO? Just contact us. Dr. Madhurka, please contact us. service@harvestharmonics.com. And we have very simple ways that we can collaborate with your NGO and help the NGO, to help the farming community, or whatever the focus is with the NGO. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You're welcome. And any other questions? I know I still have a few minutes left. I don't want to take away from the next speaker, but if anybody has any other questions, I'm here to help and answer those questions.
Meanwhile, sir, anybody asks some other question, sir, I would just like to say thank you on the behalf of my team and all the participants. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation and a wonderful demonstration of this crop booster technology. And congratulations to your team as well, sir, for creating such a technology which is organic, eco-friendly, and not just eco-friendly, minimizing the risk that as an anthropogenic interferences we have caused to environment. So thank you so much for that as well. So on the behalf of team Just Agriculture and all the participants, thank you once again, sir.
thank you so much for inviting me again to speak, and for your wonderful group. I do have one request that I did mention earlier, and I'd like to say to any of the university professors or deans or anyone that is involved with the universities, we would like to collaborate with you to develop a curriculum, for your university as a study curriculum, to bring this technology to your university to help others learn about it and get the benefits of it, and actually, help students go into agripreneurship, using the technology either with their own farms or working with our company to bring the technology to other farmers. So there's a lot of opportunity there to collaborate with universities and NGOs and other groups. So by all means, please contact us. All right.
Sir,
Thank you
there
so
is
much.
one more query in the chat box, sir. Could you please
Yes.
answer that one also, sir?
Sure. We are facing problem of lower yield in soybean, okay, due to heavy rain just before harvesting. Can this product help us in this situation? The answer to that question is yes. Okay, and I'll explain why very quickly. The technology makes the plant more energetic and stronger to withstand any climate changes. Okay, now we've seen this with grapes in South America, in Chile, and with other grape growers, and with, I forgot what other fruit it was, but torrential rains would come through the area, and all the surrounding farmers all suffered and lost their crop. But the farmer that had our technology did not. Okay, with the grapes, they didn't grow, they didn't accumulate the mold that the other farmers obtained, which destroyed their crop. And in the grape growing, 92% or 96% of the farm survived. So they had very little damage. So it really comes down to, obviously, if you had torrential rains for weeks and weeks and weeks, nothing's going to survive because because things would drown. But if a torrential rain or heavy rains came through, the crop would definitely be more resistant. It has a much higher survival potential because because it naturally has genetically strengthened itself to resist that type of environment. Okay, so I hope that helps to answer your question. Let's see if. Very good. Thank you for the lecture. My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm glad it was very informative. How do we get this technology accessible by the farmer, and what is the cost they have to incur? Okay, so we adjust the cost by to the economies of scale of every country. Okay, so it depends what country you would be contacting us from. We would work out the arrangement for the costs because we want to make it affordable for the farmer. So the cost is adjusted by country. Okay, so we make it affordable. I wouldn't worry about the cost. In the United States, if you look at the pricing in the United States or some of the other developed countries, it wouldn't look affordable. But in India and other countries, we make it affordable because we operate based on the economies of scale of that country. Okay, and the more orders that we get, the more we can make it even further affordable. So something that you can contact us directly, and we'll make the technology accessible and available to your farmers. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants for your interaction with sir, and thank you, sir, for your wonderful
My
presentation. Also showing your collaborative, efforts in showing the collaborative opportunities with all of us. So thank you so
very
much once again for joining with us, sir.
My pleasure. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. So, dear participants, this was the wonderful session number 2. Now we are going to have our next session 3. So, for the session number 3, um, we have with us Professor Ganesh Hingmeyer, sir. Sir, are you there with us in the meeting?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, before I invite you for deliver your talk, I will just give a brief introduction, sir. For the session, we have with us Professor Ganesh Hingmeyer, sir. Sir is a renowned intellectual property enthusiast and a winner of 2 consecutive National Intellectual Property Awards in 15 and 16 given by Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. He is the head of Intellectual Property Right Council at Chamber India and also mentor and IPR advisor at the Baramati Incubation Center and NIT Jalandhar, Punjab. Sir is the founder of Great Mission Group Consultancy, which is dedicated towards the promotion and protection of IPR in the country. He is the founder and director of GMGC IPR Services Private Limited, a startup recognized by Government of India under the Startup India Mission, launched in 2016. He is an reader and passionate writer with more than 200 published articles and numerous news articles in majorly circulated newspapers of Maharashtra and India. Sir has been interviewed by majority of news channels in the Maharashtra for recognizing his work, and he has most efficiently utilized the platforms to reach out to many farmers and aspirants and make them aware about the intellectual property rights. So please consider this platform as one of the other platforms of yours, and please address all our participants and join with us, sir. So over to you now, sir.
Thank you very much for an opportunity to discuss the most important topic. Whether I'm audible?
Yes, sir. You're very much audible, sir.
Okay. Can you allow me to share my presentation?
Yes, sir. You can share your presentation, sir.
One sec.
Sir, the presentation is visible. If you're trying to speak and you're not able to, so please unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah. Whether presentation is visible?
Visible, sir.
Is it moving?
Moving, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I must say thank you for an opportunity to discuss the most important topic again for agriculture sector. And that's again at not only at national level but international level. This year, actually, the United Nations specialized agency called World Intellectual Property Organization celebrated WIPO Day on 26th of April with the theme of intellectual property right and SDG. I'm going to talk about the SDG in detail. SDG means Sustainable Development Goal, and IP we know very well, intellectual property right. Those two areas are directly connected with the intellectual property right, and as I said, SDG are directly connected with the agriculture. Hence, we decided to discuss these two topics combined. And this year, the Specialized Agency of United Nations also decided to celebrate the World IP Day with this theme, and hence we decided to discuss that. And we will discuss the connection of the intellectual property right and sustainable development goal with the agriculture. And I will be sharing all my personal experience and example pertaining to these two areas with you all. So let us start with the concept called intellectual property right first of all. The IPR, as we discussed before also, I think, I don't know whether how many of you have attended my previous session or not, but let me summarize IPR very precisely over here. This is actually a legal right, intellectual property right. We all know the concept called property. As I say, these are the legal rights. Means what? Property rights are legal right. For an example, if I say the office belongs to me, so I am the owner of this office, so the office is in my possession, and I have the right to use that office legally. I have a right to use that office. Likewise, when I say the pen, I have a pen, that is my pen. I have purchased that pen. The pen is in my possession. So I am the owner of that pen, and I am having the possession of that pen. So here, the pen is my property. Office is my property. Office is immovable property. Pen is movable property. So I can move this pen from one place to another place, but I am the owner of that property. I am the owner of that concept. So what is a proprietary right is a legal right. Legal right to use that property. And these are what we can say tangible property, which you can see by your eyes. So when I say this office, so it can see by my eyes. When I say the pen, it can see you, it can see by eyes. So here, the property which you can see by your eyes, and when you can touch the property, it's normally says as a property. But when there is an intangible creation, then and certain incorporeal creation. So in that case, there will be an intellectual property right. So you will have the right, you will have the similar right, you will have the ownership right. You can possess that property, and that is an intellectual property right. I repeat, any intangible property created by particular mind, human being, then that can be a intellectual property right. Let me put it in a simple way. The property which is created by intellect is an intellectual property, and the right, the legal right granted to such properties are intellectual property right. So if you created something new, useful, then you are entitled to get an intellectual property right. Let me say, give you an example of different forms of intellectual property right. For an example, patent. Some of you might have heard 100% the concept called patent. Patent is an intellectual property right. If you have an invention, then you can get the patent and you can exclusively use that property. You will have the monopoly over that property. For an example, a unique tractor invented by someone, in that case, that gentleman or gentle lady is entitled to get the monopoly right by way of a patent. In Marathi, there was a movie called De-Dhakka. In that movie, the importance of patent is narrated very precisely. The hero invented a device. He was a farmer. He invented that device, and that helped particularly for increase the mileage of the petrol. But and then he was not aware of the patent. However, his friend who learned about the patent, he applied for a patent on his behalf, and he got the benefit of that patent in terms of socio-economic growth, in terms of monetary benefit also. So that is what the patent. You invented something new. You are entitled to get the patent. Since you are inventing it through your intellect, that is what called as intellectual property. And the right means you are the only person who can utilize, commercially exploit that invention is the patent. So that is a form of intellectual property right. We can say patent. The another form of intellectual property is a trademark. For an example, the name of Tata tractor or Mahindra tractor. The tractor belongs to the company called Mahindra. So Mahindra tractor is the trademark of that tractor. So no one will use that mark, that name, that visual symbol for the purpose of commercial exploitation, branding, and marketing. So here, in short, a name, a visual symbol, or a logo, or what you can say, anything which represent your identity would be the trademark. So that may be a logo. So State Bank of India, the logo you can see is a trademark. Then third one is third form of intellectual property can be an industrial design. Industrial design is another form of intellectual property where you can particularly remember the example of Bisleri. Bisleri, where you can see the recent bottle style is very small. In that case, the design is prepared very precisely, and then you can easily carry that small bottle in your purse. So that is an industrial design, and that can also be a form of intellectual property right. The best example is your Tata Nano. So Tata Nano is a design where you can see that design is another innovation as another intellectual property, and can be registered as an intellectual property right. The fourth form of intellectual property right is a copyright. The best example is the book. So the Harry Potter, she wrote, the J.K. Rowling wrote a particularly very different kind of books, and then she got the monopoly right in the form of intellectual property right, that is copyright. So I cannot replace her name on Harry Potter as an author, and I cannot use that book as my own book. The author is the author, and that is her creation, and she is enjoying the exclusive right in the form of intellectual property right called copyright. Now, there is another form of intellectual property right. Those are directly connected with the agriculture, you can say, is a geographical indication. I think in our previous session, we have discussed in length about the GI. GI is globally important intellectual property right for community. Community may include agriculture community, may include weavers, may include artisans. So those are committees which can get the intellectual property right in the form of geographical indication. We will be discussing all these forms of all these forms of intellectual property, including the geographical indication with various examples. I have personal experience and examples, as I said in the beginning, that I can share with you all. Now, before moving to the detail about the various examples and the connection or nexus with the United Nations goal on SDG, we will have to understand the importance of intellectual property right. Even in one device, you will have many intellectual property right. What we discussed about different forms in the previous slide, where patent, trademark, copyright, design, and all are different forms, but you can found those different intellectual property in single device. So take an example of your mobile device. Mobile device, the name of the mobile, say Apple. The design of that device, a different industrial design. Then Apple is a trademark. Then the technology which you are using, for an example, say Apple Pro 15 Plus, etc. So there you will find the price differences. So that why price difference? Because the different advanced technology has been used. The S24 Samsung, you can find Samsung Ultra X S24 with AI. So they have utilized the AI, and the price you will say about 1 lakh rupees. So in one device, you will find many intellectual property rights, and because of that intellectual property, the price of the device are fixed or defined. So that's where you can see a different forms of intellectual property can be found in one device. So it may be mobile, it may be television. So if the same concept is applicable to the television, when you purchase about the Sharp or you, whatever, like a Sony television, the Sony is a trademark. The design, that shape, you can fit that television into the wall is a size that is industrial design. The technology has been upgraded with many features that can be get the patent. So the concept called intellectual property right we discussed very precisely that the property which is created by intellect is an intellectual property right. Number two, there are different forms of intellectual property right, and that may be a patent, trademark, copyright, and all these forms are directly connected with the agriculture sector. And the third aspect is that all are basically directly or indirectly also connected with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Now, before I move to the goal, whether my slide is moving?
It's moving, sir. Actually, your window is been partitioned into two, and like, can you just little maximize your screen, sir, so that it's more visible, sir? Otherwise, it's fine if you're not able to.
1 second, I'm just.
On the one side, we are seeing you are sharing screen like that, we can see, and in the second half, we are seeing the slides, sir.
Is
You
it
just
better?
try to a little maximize the screen portion, sir. And no, sir. Anyway, that's fine, sir. No issues.
Because I'm using my iPad, and this is, I think,
And
the iPad
no,
technology
that's
should.
fine then. So that's fine. Please continue, sir.
Whether I'm in whether I'm in this slide on 17 sustainable goal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you see that?
Yes, sir. I can see that, sir. Actually, this is 17 Sustainable Development Goal of United Nations. It is there, but on that it's not coming to the whole window, sir. Actually, it's one of the partition of the window, and second half is we are just showing you are sharing your screen like that, sir.
1
It's
second,
not
let
on
me
the
check.
whole of your screen, sir. It's just half of the screen that has covered. Yeah.
1 second, give me a moment. Is it better now? Is it better? Is it better? Hello?
Yeah, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, is it better?
I think it's fine, sir. I think it's fine, sir. We can
Okay,
continue
fine.
with this, sir. No issues.
Okay. So
Yes.
we have discussed about the IPR, different forms of IPR. Now we are trying to connect the sustainable development goal, which was announced by United Nations. As we all know, United Nations, very important international organization working for the peace and order throughout globe. And they've decided a 17 sustainable development goal in 2015. And they have decided by 2030, 2030, those 17 goals needs to be achieved. And you will find those goals directly and indirectly connected with IPR and agriculture. Hence, we decided to discuss this with you all because many of us are not aware of the fact about the SDG goal, its connection with the agriculture, and its direct nexus with the IPR. So let me tell you about the different type of goal. Goal number one, where you see that no poverty. It means end poverty with its forms everywhere. Further, goal number two, zero hunger, where you'll find agriculture connection is with respect to the food security and improve the sustainable agriculture. So that you can find that SDG goal number two is directly connected with the agriculture. Then again, third goal is with respect to the good health and well-being. I'm going to share you the how agriculture is helping for good health. Some goals are not directly connected to the agriculture, but they are indirectly connected with the agriculture. It may include your gender equality, clean water and sanitation, etc. And then further, you can also see that innovation. We just talked about the patent, and we will have some kind of an example with respect to the that. Then sustainable cities, climate action is directly connected to the agricultural sector. I'm going to share 2-3 examples of Panchinchuli, tamarind, and others. So these are the various 17 goals. And now I'm going to connect you all with respect to the various intellectual property right we work and some of the direct SDGs with respect to the particularly an IPR. Here are the photo you can see. There are 4 photos. One is your silk, that is Eri silk. The second photo is napalm, that's a fermented fish. The third photo you will find is the medicinal plant called Khera dapini. And the fourth photo is you will find a drum, which is locally that known as a kham. I have worked for all these GI, and that GI is directly connected with the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations. So what is the flow? The flow is what United Nations to United Nations declared 17 goals, and we are connecting those goals with the agriculture with or through intellectual property right. Again, before we move to that intellectual property right and UN goal, first of all, try to understand the objective of the sustainable goal. There are 17 goals. We have just discussed in very precise manner, not in detail, about the 17 goals like no hunger, remove poverty, clean energy, sustainable agriculture, gender equality, clean energy, health, etc., etc. Those are very much needed areas which has been converted into the 17 sustainable goal by the United Nations, and they've also finalized the date by 2030. It has to be achieved. So no hunger. Say no hunger. There should not be any single person who should die with hunger. That is a goal. So there has to be a clean energy. There has to be a policy with respect to the climate change. So the ultimately all sustainable goals are precisely covered with one objective, that is peace and prosperity through people and planet now into the future. They have summarized the entire 17 goals with one line: peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. Here, the photographs which I have covered are all intellectual property, right, which I have worked. So, Erie silk is a silk that is through the silk worm. Here, you will find the Bordeaux land, that particularly a part of an Assam, where the silk is available, and that silk is having an history hundreds of years old. This silk is also known as a Ahimsa silk. So silkworm won't die. So sericulture practice, what we can say, a part of an agriculture is covered where no power loom is used. So only nature gifted sources has been utilized. So what is the sustainable goal over here? So no power means no use of any coal or any machineries or any electricity or whatever manner where you need to take the help from the hydro plant or thermal plant and machineries and all etc. is there is no requirement of such things. So the local community are using their skill with the help of nature, and they've created this wonderful product called Erie Silk, and they got the GI for this. I work for this GI, and so here the sustainable goal: no pollution, no harm to the nature, and that's how it is perfectly matched to the 17 goals. I'm just precisely giving you an example in one slide, but in later stage I will be giving an example with respect to the respective goals. And the second I discuss about the napalm, that is a fermented fish. Nowadays, many food industries are using the preservative, but for napalm, the fermented fish, which is a local product of the Bodo people, and that can be kept for 3 years without using any preservative. And the napalm, in the name of the this fish is fermented fish, and it's a nutritionally very high and then useful. So again, they are not using any chemicals, then that is not harmful to the human body. Further, they are using the available nature's gift like a bamboo, and that's how this is also sustainable. Need not to use any advanced, what you can say, maybe an electricity or any chemicals. The third one, which I've discussed about the Khera Dapini, that's a Khera Dapini is a medicinal plant which is there in the national park. Manas National Park is the national park in the Assam, in Bodoland. So this plant is a natural plant. This plant is a medicinal plant. This plant is used by local community to cure themselves from the various small diseases, even like a cough and many others. And the fourth one is a kham. Kham is a drum. They particularly use for the many purpose, and whatever the bamboos available additionally to them, they are using to making this kham. The message to the whole community to come together, let us celebrate, have the stress-free life, because that is creating lots of problems. As you know, stress is one of the, but our forefathers were so great they've created such a wonderful musical instruments that to live a stress-free life. Now, one by one, we will discuss goals. So here, goal number one, what we discuss is a zero hunger. What it covers, basically, it's transforming the food system into the transforming our world. Here, you will find all food systems are sustainable for production to the consumers. So it's directly connected to the agriculture. There you'll also find the rural poverty need to be removed by doubling their income. That can be also achieved through the intellectual property right called geographical indication. And I have an example over here. I work for the Tur Dal from the cereal from Nandurbar district. Now it's fetching the double price. We are creating the agripreneurs. What agripreneurs? They have to increase the income of the farmer. They have to play an important role for economic growth of agri sector. And here is an example of IPR, United Nations goal, and our success story. Our success story is with respect to the GI that has been granted to the Nandurbar for Nawapur Tur Dal. After getting the GI, the local community, which are tribal, received the double price for their dal. So what does it mean? A sustainable model has been created. A rural economy has been strengthened. Further, a premier price to the farmers. So ultimately, the rural economy for this community gone up, and then no question about the hunger. Many tribal community died with the hunger. That's very sad scenario happen and should not be happen. So here we know IPR now, we know GI now, we know United Nations now. We have a commitment. So with the GI, with the IPR, we can 100% achieve this goal. I believe strongly, and we have a good example of the same. Then we may not have that much time to discuss all the goals, but we have selected few goals. So now goal number 3, good health and well-being. This is again the United Nations goal. I can give you an example of turmeric, which I have registered from my side, is Vaigav turmeric. Vaigav turmeric is the turmeric from the Maharashtra's Wardha district, and there is a medicinal property for this turmeric called high percent of curcumin. You will find more than 6% curcumin in this turmeric, and this helps for many medicinal use, like a healing wounds, curing cough, cold, and many other diseases, and are traditionally known in the area. So this turmeric, we got it registered as a GI, as I discussed, GI is an intellectual property right. And after that, the price for this turmeric went very high, number one. Number two, the turmeric also gave various results of even reversing the cancer, and then many others. And recently there is a research paper published by the Harvard University that such kind of turmeric where you have more curcumin will improve the IQ level of the students, memory level of the students, when you have daily turmeric on your plate or in your or you can consume it with the hot milk and etc. So this third goal is directly connected with the IPR called geographical indication, where we have registered it, and that can be compatible with the United Nations goal number 3. Now goal number 5, gender equality. It includes women empowerment. I wish to give an example of Shubhangi Patil, to whom I work, or my wife also worked for her parents. So actually the story is very interesting. Her husband had an accident, and the doctor recommended him to to eat non-veg to recover fast. But he was a vegetarian. He refused doctor recommendation. Then his wife Shubhangi Patil was in tension, and she decided to work on this problem, and she started doing the experiment in her home. Her gallery became uh, kind of a laboratory, and she started preparing several dishes, and used to get up early in the morning at 3 o'clock, 3 to 6 o'clock. She was working on the various permutation and combination, and finally she came with a product called walnut ragi soup, and it perfectly matches the requirement of the non-veg, and she gave to her husband, and he recovered very fast with that soup. We applied for her patent, and the patent has been granted for her soup. And now there is a proposal to send that soup to the border, to the particular soldier, and that can be, so her invention, which is not only empowering the woman creation as an invention, as an intellectual property, but also solving the problem of the society with respect to their need. And there's another example which I wish to cover here is Jai Shri Yadav. We work for her patent. She was started with the you know a business called Gulkan. I don't know how many of you heard about the Gulkan. That's from rose petal. That's a sweet product and can be used for many purposes. That's also considered as one of the nutritional products. But she kept on thinking, why only Gulkan? If there is a wine from the fruits, then why can't we have the wine from the rose petal? And then she started also an experiment, and finally she came with proper an invention called rose wine. We applied for her patent. We got the patent for her rose wine, and now she has purchased 10-acre land in near Pune called as Zunnar, and started cultivating the desi gulab. So how that has been become a sustainable agriculture. On one side, the many farmers are leaving agriculture sector. On the other side, such kind of inventions are supporting agriculture sector, also empowering the woman. We took her patent to the Australia, and now there are good returns. The next is a good number 7, affordable and clean energy. Sorry. Here also we work for the patent for Vinit Pardeshi. This engineer boy came with very small idea with the help of his friend to clean the solar panel. In India, there is an issue with respect to the dust, and dust will reduce the efficiency. In such scenario, Mr. Vinit and his friend worked on the dust cleaning system on the solar panel, and finally we got the patent for this. So in short, through the IPR, we can achieve the affordable and clean energy. You might have heard right now the particularly central government declared the solar policy for farmer, particularly on their solar pump, and then such kind of invention, such kind of intellectual property right will help to achieve the goal with respect to the affordable and clean energy. Goal number 8 of the United Nations SDG goal, that's particularly decent work and economic growth. we got the GI, we got the intellectual property for Mahabaleshwar strawberry in 2009. Then, after the branding, after the awareness, the farmer who that time were migrated to the Pune city, they have remigrated to Mahabaleshwar to produce strawberry in the region. They started getting the premium price. That is an economic growth happened. Then, considering that, they have also started producing strawberry in the adjacent area. So there is an increase in the agri product. The third benefit happened, many industries like Malas and Mapro established their units in Mahabaleshwar and gave lots of employment. The fourth benefit received after the GI, after this intellectual property right to Mahabaleshwar, particularly the agro-tourism developed in the Mahabaleshwar. So in short, this decent work and economic growth goal of United Nations is perfectly achieved through the intellectual property called GI in Mahabaleshwar. The next example which I would like to go for the economic growth is Jalgaon banana. Jalgaon banana, we got the GI, and this banana has now started exporting to the many countries. I can give the best example of the economic growth of the goal number A8 particularly is that Tandarwadi village, part of Jalgaon. They've started exporting the banana to US, and small village received 12 crore order for the banana because of the GI. So that's the recent work and the economic growth. The next example I would like to give for the decent work and economic growth, that is goal number 8, is with respect to the Sangli raising. Sangli raising received the 4-time prize after the GI registration. So again, that is compatible to goal number 8 of the economic prosperity, which we can achieve through the intellectual property right, which is already started. However, the success stories are very less. And again, we would like to emphasize on the total GI registration in India is very less. In Europe, they have 60,000. In China, they have 12,000 GI, but we have 600 GIs and very less number of agri GIs. Now, let us talk about the goal number 9. 9, where it's directly connected to the industry, innovation, and infrastructure. This boy is from Pune. We work for his patent for electric foldable bike. And after that, basically, he wanted to start an industry there in different part. And this was initial patent, basically. And again, this is compatible to the SDG goal. Then there is another invention which I can cover. Here is the system uses a special kind of technology called LIDAR to measure the groundwater level without touching the water. Normally, you'll have to touch the water and then measure the groundwater level. But this technology, you can see, for which we got the patent, is now available to many. Through this, you can say you can also measure the pH, electric conductivity, and density of the water. In agriculture sector, such kind of measurements are very much important, and such kind of inventions are very, very important. Now, the another goal is goal number 13, climate change. We all are facing the issue with respect to the climate change. But there is only option like to get the GI, to get the IPR and increase the forest, increase the agricultural practices, and to break the climate balance. Otherwise, we cannot artificially generate that much of oxygen which is required right now. So then climate change, the most important effect is the oxygen. So in this case, we have some kind of good example of Panchinchuli tamarind, for which we got the GI. This is a very unique tamarind. You can see 1 feet is the length of this tamarind, and very useful. This is also sometimes called as a kalpataru, that each part of this tree is useful. However, because of not awareing about the benefit of real commercial benefit of this product, the many farmers cut hundreds years of trees, and it was a very sad story. But now we got the GI, and now farmers started creating a very gardens of tamarind gardens for this. So that what we can say, an action against the climate action has been begun. So forestation began, cultivation began, production and agriculture began, and by production of the various agriculture also began in area. So there you can see about the an action against the climate action, which is the goal number 13, is achieved through the intellectual property called geographical indication or Panchinchali tamarind. The same thing also happened with the Badlapur Jamun, or we also got the GI for the same. And this is how we have different 17 goals, but in short, those different goals can be achieved in short through IPR. We have a success story at IIT Kharagpur. That's IIT Kharagpur, where I've been invited as a chief guest, and we have started with the 100 patents and GI drive. After that, a good 7 crores of rupees has been generated as a revenue for the to the education. And what we said about the affordable education that can be achieved through the income generated through the innovations. The same what we can give an example like, okay, that IIT has generated revenue of 433 crores to the IPR. Then that's another example of Oxford, 7.1 billion to the world economy. They have also generated a huge amount through the patent. Then there is an example of IIT, as they have marked 1,000 patents generated in India and abroad. Amity University is also doing this. There is an example of this another support system of clean water. So one professor from United Kingdom, she came with a thought to convert the toilet water into a drinkable water. And the idea has been converted into the invention. Then invention got the patent, and the patent through that they are generating the revenue. So now how IPR is not only solving the problem of individual but also the society, and how IPR is basically calculating to achieve the SDG goal. So that's another thing. It's also benefit to the professors and the students. That's another example of Oxford Energy with respect to the revenue sharing. Many students are now coming together and they have solved also society's problem with the that their inventions. So Dewdrop is a technology through that you can convert that air into water, and that has been patented. So water-related problem with respect to the SDG has been sorted out. There is a good trend in India now, increase in the patent. Good trend in this particularly commercially exploiting the coal or sustainable goal. Example of European Union, they have generated 75 billion through particularly you can say commercializing the geographical indication. Out of that, you can say 15 billions have generated through the exporting the GI product. So your GI, your intellectual property is not only helping your country, but the rest of the world. So that ultimate perfectly compatible to the United Nations SDG, that to solve the society's problem. Fortunately, I have had an opportunity to work for 89 GIs in different states of India. in different agriculture, you can say it may be strawberry, it may be turmeric, it may be pomegranate, it may be fig. So these all are GIs I have had an opportunity to work. This is a GI map which we have prepared for Maharashtra. I work for 52 GIs in Maharashtra alone. That is compatible to the SDG goal, and SDG goal is the commitment from India to the United Nations, and we have to achieve it by 2030. We have already requested the government of Maharashtra, and government of Maharashtra started procuring 11 GI products with a premium price. So whatever we discuss about the hunger, poverty, clean energy, health benefit with respect to the intellectual property, with respect to the more specific on GI, and we have connected ourselves with the United Nations SDG goal. The part of it has already been achieved. However, there is a long way to go, and we have 6 years in hand. So more and more IPR, more and more GI, more and more use of the agriculture system that has been developed by our ancestors, our forefathers, by way of a traditional also practices that can be, utilized for achieving the sustainable development goal of United Nations, which is committed. Otherwise, we will have to suffer. With this, I'm really again thankful to the organizer for an opportunity to discuss this important topic for this wonderful webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was such a informative presentation, sir. And on the behalf of all the participants and our team Just Agriculture, we thank you once again, sir, for joining with us. And I will just request all the participants, if they have any question, they can put in the chat box, or please unmute yourself, or you can directly talk to sir as well. I have enabled the chat box, so if you have any question, please put in the chat box. So we'll just wait for some 30 seconds or something like that, so that if anybody has some question, they can put some. Participant, you can unmute yourself also, and you can directly talk to sir also if you want to, if you have any query.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
This is KD Mahan from Raigad, Chhattisgarh state, sir. I'm working as a scientist at Krishi Vigyan Kendras at Indira Gandhi Agriculture University. So,
Okay.
sir, actually, I have some. We can start. Actually, we have one product, the rice.
Your voice is breaking.
Called Java full rice.
Your voice is breaking,
Process
sir.
of GI and with the help of
Your voice is breaking, sir. I can't hear you properly.
administration.
Sir, your voice is not clear.
Mr. Khemadas Mahant, please put your question in the chat box. That will be actually okay, because we cannot hear you. Any other participant, please? Sir, there is one question in my DM.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so sir, the person is asking like, sir, we have intellectual property rights all over the world, sir, like defined by WIPO or such organization. So, do any individual country has something that the policy of that country that they can change the intellectual property definition or the content of the intellectual property? So, do they have any country has any kind of rights or policies like that?
Basically, the question itself carries an answer. When you say World Intellectual Property Organization, not all countries are a member of WIPO. Those who are not a member of WIPO, they can have their own policy. Even you can be a WIPO member, but certain policies are basically available at your own discretion. For an example, there is an agreement called PCT, Patent Cooperation Treaty. So you can have your own certain beneficial policy for your patent system. There is no mandate. However, the requirement need to be common. However, the platform for international patent system should be available, but certain mandatory provisions you cannot enforce. You can have your own little discretion and policy with respect to the IPR. That is available. So those first point, those who are not member, they can have their own. Second, even you may have a member, but there are certain flexibility available to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So there is now 2 questions in the chat box. So one is from Dr. Kiran. So she's asking, sir, how much time does it take for a GI to process?
It may take 1 to 3 years, and there are many factors which are required, like an historical evidences, scientific evidences, geographical area. If you have all supportive document in place, then it may get it done within 1 year also.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the next question is from Mr. Kema Das. So, what is the step to start the procedure of GI of tribal farmers product Java full rice, and what is the cost? So,
the process should start with collecting the information, authenticate information, and this is a techno-legal document that has to be prepared with legal requirement. Like a form number 1, it contains 10 major aspects, and accordingly, once you have the supportive document, then it should be placed in a techno-legal way. And then there is a report. As I mentioned in the beginning itself, these are the legal rights. So it has to be, submitted and proposed in a legal way. So it will be done in the fastest possible manner. Second, cost varies. If you don't have supportive documents, like your product is unique, your product is, say, for example, non-basmati aromatic rice, but if you don't have the 2-acetylene propylene system for the non-basmati aromatic rice, then you have to carry the test, experiment, and need to have the supportive evidences, scientific evidences, and there you need a more cost. So it varies, depends on it varies from product to product.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I hope that answers to Mr. Kema Das. Any other
Yes,
questions,
ma'am. Yes,
dear
ma'am.
participants?
Sir, is it possible, sir, to start the GI process, sir, with the support of district collector also, sir? If we have,
yes,
if we are,
yes,
sir.
And I will be
is,
very happy to support. I will be very happy to support you. You can take my mobile number. It's
yes,
98.
yes, sir. Sir, I have
98.
your number, sir. sir, I have your number and I have already discussed 6 months before, sir. It's due to
Yeah, please, please.
collector said, yes, the collector said got.
I will also get you support from central government authority for your GI.
Sir, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, sir.
So shall we stop, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much for patient answering all the questions, sir. It was wonderful to have you today, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. So, dear participants, it was all for today. We will meet again tomorrow with other new sessions. Till then, have a nice day and good night.